Hello all, I hope you're all well, and hello any potential Chelsea fans that may have stumbled across this video. But I think it's about time I showed the Chelsea shirts that I owned. Naturally, being a Chelsea fan myself, I try my best to buy every Chelsea shirt that is released. I'm one of those guys. Now, it's been requested by quite a few people now. They want to see my shirts, and to be honest, I've never really shown them anywhere. So I will break them down into home, away, and third shirts, primarily because I've got like 40 plus shirts and it would just take forever to do it in a single video. So I will go through them in chronological order and offer any sort of little bits of information that may be associated with them. So let's jump into it. The first shirt is the one that I got obviously when I began supporting the club. This shirt was used for 2 seasons. It was used in 2001 through to 2003. And the size of this one, I think it's a large boys. Yeah. And I got it for, I don't know, 10th birthday or something like that. So on the back is Hasselbank. This is quite funny because I got this for, I think it was a Christmas present from my mum. And she was like, oh, who's your favourite Chelsea player? And I was like, oh, it's Zola. And she's like, oh, not Hasselbank. And I'm like, well, I mean, Hasselbank's great, but it's not Zola. And obviously, I open up my Christmas present and there's Hasselbank on the back. She's clearly just purchased it. But there's not many floating around. And to be honest, Hasselbank is one of those underappreciated Premier League strikers, I think. Not only with Chelsea, I think he did great with Leeds, did bits with Middlesbrough. So he'll always go down as one of my sort of heroes, good old Jimmy. So that was 2 seasons. We jump on to this one. So now we are into the Abramovich era. And this is the 2003 to 2005. So this is another shirt that lasted for 2 seasons. And I decided to get this one personalised with none other than Hernan Crespo. So Crespo was one of those players that, as I started to play the sort of the sports games, so like I think it was LMA Manager, Championship Manager. Of course, at that point, like Serie A was just coming down from being sort of the top level, and Crespo was one of those top level players. And when he came to Chelsea, I was so excited. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out for him, though he still performed, okay. Did obviously better stuff for Milan on loan, but I remember wearing this shirt with pride. A little known fact: this one actually is kind of reversible. There's nothing on the inside. There just is a logo. I never wore it. Reversed, but it's just a little something, I guess. So now we're into the 2005-2006 shirt. This is the centenary one. And now we're sponsored by Samsung. And this one, we had just won the league. So it was quite a special moment. And what I decided to do was get this one personalised with Champions 05 on the back. So clearly we'd won our league title in 2005. And that was just my way of showing everybody that if they didn't know, we were the champions. And the greatest thing was, I remember getting on the bus, coming home from town, and I sat at the back of the bus, and this guy got on, and he was wearing the same Chelsea shirt. And I was like, oh, that's weird, because I didn't see, I don't see many Chelsea shirts. And as he sat down in front, he turned around, and I got to see the back, and I promise you, it said Champions 50. Because it had been 50 years since we'd won the league title in 1955. And he had no idea. I don't think he could tell I was wearing a Chelsea shirt. But could you imagine that? If all the places in the world, we had Champions 50, Champions 05. So I think that was quite a beautiful moment. So now next season is 2006 to 2008. This is the final of the 2-season shirt. And I think this shirt was probably my most worn shirt ever. If any shirt I own, it's probably this one, and it's probably one of my favourites. And it's quite funny because I usually hate the fact that Adidas have put the logo in the centre, and I still do, but this shirt for me is one of the most important ones. growing up. I sort of just started to hit sort of mid-teens. I was top end of high school, and things were getting fun. And on the back of this one, I got personalised, if you can read it, with Carvalho. Carvalho was my favourite player at that point. Of all the superstars that we had there, and we even had obviously the defenders, we had the likes of Cole and Terry and Ferreira. Carvalho, for me, he was what stood out as a Chelsea player. He was technically amazing, didn't do anything too crazy, could be a bit of a git, and I just love Ricardo Carvalho. He will always go down, in my opinion, as one of the best defenders. And again, slightly underappreciated by a lot of people, I think. But I loved the fact that I would wear 2 years a shirt with Carvalho on the back. And everyone's got all these, superstar players, and I've got Carvalho. As you can tell, it's totally fallen apart, but that's just 2 years of just pretty much wearing it, I presume, every day. Really good shirt. Now we are in 2008, 2009. This shirt is one of the ones that brings back some pretty painful memories. Of course, this is the year where we lost the Champions League to Manchester United. Of course, it was, everyone remembers the Terry slip, but it was actually Anelka who had the save, the final penalty save on Van der Sar. Of course, I decided that season, unknowingly, to get Anelka on the back. So it's even more painful looking at this one. It's like, God damn you. Anelka was one of those weird players, wasn't he? Wherever he went, he was like a genius, but also a total sort of liability. He's a sort of a similar ilk of Balotelli, but just probably better. He was top goal scorer, and him and Drogba, that partnership when that season, it was amazing. It's one of those players you sometimes forget played for Chelsea, and he was actually really good. But yeah, that penalty miss. Oh, dear me. So now we are on, what are we on, 2009, 2010 now? This shirt never really stood out to me, amazingly. I don't have the patches on this one, and obviously Adidas have realised, because previously the stripes would run all the way down, you put a patch on top, and it would crack between the lines. So at this point they've realised, let's give them some space for the patches. This one, personalised with lamps. So at this point I realised maybe it's best I actually get one of the key players, one of the superstars, because I don't want them to leave or miss out on them. I don't really need to say anything about Lampard. Obviously, he's currently the Chelsea manager, legend, just amazing player, and just a great all-round guy. So, following season, and we have our shirt which starts to feature a little bit of red. I do like a Chelsea shirt that has a little bit of red on, not loads. And this one is 2010-11, and we have Terry on the back. So it's Terry's turn. We've got Lamps, and of course, where Lamps is, Terry is not too far behind. John Terry with Carvalho. In my biased opinion, the best defensive partnership. When they had that season, when they conceded I don't know how many goals was it, 14 goals, 16 goals? You can't. This is a record, so that says a lot. But yeah, Terry for me he put everything on the line, and there's not many players that can do that regardless. So that's really nice. So where are we now? In 2011-12. Now this shirt, of course, stands out even more because this was the shirt that we wore when we won the Champions League. Oh, I remember that day, May 19th. What a night. And it was personalised with one of the standout players that season, Juan Mata. Mata was a class player. There's no two ways about it. When he left to Man United, because Mourinho sort of forced him out for Oscar, I was so disappointed. I thought you've made a mistake there. And then to see Mata not really getting utilised as much as he should have done at Man United, it's been a bit disappointing. Obviously, you can't ignore the fact that he's an amazing person off the pitch. with all the schemes and whatnot that he set up. But watching him play for those couple of seasons that he was at Chelsea was, I've never seen someone with such close control and being able to pick out a pass like him. Such creativity. He was an amazing player, and of course, that was such an amazing season. So this is the season following, 2012-2013, and we've got another golden shirt, sort of to celebrate the Champions League win. And this one was personalised by a player who would become maybe our best ever player, sort of skill-wise, very possibly, Eden Hazard. I remember when he was flirting with all the big teams in Europe, and we didn't know where he was going to go, and then he sort of on Twitter said, "I'm going to be joining the current Champions League winners," or something to that effect. I remember I was sat in Centre Parcs, refreshing, because I knew it was coming, and then when it was posted, I was like, "We've got him." It was such a sort of a frenzy about him, and I never expected him to be as good as he was. He had a couple of dodgy seasons where he didn't perform to his level, but it's a bit sad to see how he's currently performing or not even playing at Real Madrid. The injuries don't help, but if only he could have stayed. But it was his dream, and that's fair enough. But can't say anything wrong with the golden shirt. Always works out brilliantly. So now we are in 2013-14, if I've got my dates right. And this shirt, if I remember correctly, is personalised by Ramirez of all players. I don't think that he's featured on many Chelsea shirts, and if so, I don't think it'd be many home shirts. But Ramirez is one of those undervalued players. You can't forget the wonderful chip that he scored against Barcelona in the Champions League semi-final a couple of seasons prior. And I do like to buy shirts that are personalised with a few players that are not necessarily typical. And also at this point, I'd probably got most of the sort of first team, so I don't really like to duplicate all that much, only if I'm struggling or if it is a legend. So it was kind of like probably Ramirez or, someone else that was, at that level. So that was pretty cool. And this shirt's decent enough. So this next season, are we 14, 15 now? I can't even know. I don't know where we're going. This one, I like this one because it's like a darker blue. I like the design. I like the horizontal stripes. And this was a great purchase. Fabregas. I remember this came out of nowhere for me. I never anticipated Fabregas to ever play for Chelsea. Of course, he was amazing at Arsenal, went to Barcelona, still amazing, but wasn't quite sort of the first team. He would sort of flirt in and out of the team. And when he arrived with Diego Costa, that was an amazing signing. And see him at his top level for, a couple of seasons, certainly this season as well. Seeing him spray balls around, it was pretty remarkable, and I think he's sort of got a bit of a soft spot for Chelsea at the moment, which is always funny. I'd always give my Arsenal friends stick whenever he'd score a goal or assist. I'd always kiss the badge. Obviously he didn't, but it was enjoyable to see him, and it was a good shirt. Oh, and I remember I bought this shirt literally within 2 days of it being released, personalised with Fabregas, and I went to a restaurant, and one of the waiters was like, "Oh my god, you've actually got it already?" Because I'm an Arsenal fan, how can you even do this to me? And that was just, I love that. So now we are to Yokohama tyres. This one's not held up too well, sort of faded away a bit on the front there. But of course we've got the gold patches because we are champions. And on the back is Willian. So of course Willian's just left Chelsea to go to play for Arsenal. He's actually doing alright, hasn't he? But Willian was one of those players where I quite enjoyed watching him. High work ethic, was very good with the ball, had a great set piece, and just generally was a player that you really enjoyed to have a team. I know he wasn't necessarily the most threatening. You could play against him and you wouldn't necessarily focus on him purely as the main attacking threat. but I always liked when he was on the team. So I think it was a good compliment to Hazard. Hazard was clearly the obvious superstar, but Willian was the guy who would mop up and sort of pick up the slack if Hazard wasn't feeling it that day. But yeah, this was it's a very nice shirt. So, season after that, we have this other Adidas shirt, Hammer Tires. You've got the Chelsea logo in the material, and on the back we have Batshuayi. Yay! What a purchase that was. Now, of course, Batshuayi has not really done anything for Chelsea. He did score the winning goal to secure as the title. But other than that, he's kind of been, on obviously the last minute winner against Atletico Madrid. But other than that, it was, it's been a pretty disappointing one. And as I start showing you my away and third shirts, you are going to see some amazing names there. And you're going to be like, oh, I can't believe he played for Chelsea. Why the hell would you buy that shirt with that name on? Clearly he was going to be rubbish. Yeah, well, it's happened a lot. So I think, is he on loan? I think he's gone on loan, hasn't he? That was kind of a sort of a hope. He could have turned out either way, but he's a Chelsea striker, so it was probably always going to fail. But don't worry about it. We've got the next season. Now we're with Nike. It's the first season with them, and they went for the most boring plain shirts. It's like, okay, fine, whatever. Who did we decide to go with this time? Oh, it's the next striker that we bought. Yay! Morata. Well, he started off well, didn't he? He got a few goals and a couple of assists, and he looked like he was going to be our sort of missing link. He was going to be the superstar that we never had. Turns out no, that wasn't. It was a flash in the pan. Once his head dropped, his confidence fell. He ended up sort of being sort of Torres 2.0, Shevchenko 2.0. Throw any name out there, you can use it. So this shirt was had to be retired fairly quickly because I think he stayed for season and a half. He went on loan. That's what happens. Now I don't actually have the season after, the 2018-19. That was a busy year for me for reasons, so I never had a chance to pick it up. So I'm hoping I can find one for sale I can buy. So if anybody has one that they would sell in medium and personalised, let me know, because I would pick it up. So of course we have last season's. You'll have seen the video of me opening it possibly. As you can see, the design has changed. Usually there's a blue base and it was kind of meh. This one has clearly gone crazy, and you've got the Stamford Bridge design, and of course this is the Vapor version, so this is the player issue. And who have we got personalised in the back if you didn't see the video? Oh, it's Tammy Abraham. Well, he did have a good season last season, but I don't think he's going to get much of a say this season. Which is a shame because he's clearly a talented player, but if I want to predict something, I think he may end up leaving the club. Maybe at the end of the season, or if not that, the season afterwards, because we've got Timo Werner, and I don't know why I'm saying this, because all of the examples that we've just seen and all the examples that will be coming up, Chelsea strikers don't really do very well. So we'll see. And obviously the current season shirts I'm going to be buying, I'll probably get Werner on that. Maybe I shouldn't do it, because quite clearly I've never put a Drogba on a home shirt, and he turned out alright, didn't he? So maybe I should just stick it to the away ones. But that's it. Those are all my Chelsea home shirts for now. I'm obviously looking to buy some of the older ones, so prior to me supporting the club, and obviously the one that's missing from the couple of seasons ago. Of course, they're all legit. They're all official shirts. Hope you enjoyed watching it. The video is a little bit longer than usual, of course. I do apologise for letting you sort of sit through this, especially if you don't support Chelsea. It's probably quite tedious. So I don't mind if you bailed after 2 minutes. But if you've got any questions, or if you want to make some suggestions, or if you want to talk about your Chelsea shirts, let me know. Maybe which one's a favourite, or which one do you want to laugh at with the players. But that's it for now. I will see you with the away shirts probably the following week. And I'm actually going to go and watch Chelsea vs Liverpool right now. So let's hope we manage to beat them. That would be great, wouldn't it? So once again, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.